pig's feet, pig's tail, kidney there.
I mean, they had every single part of
Yes.
every single animal in there, which was really, it was like, wow.
Yeah. This is like a Chinese winter melon. It's a giant.
Helps you pee.
I said a lot of collagens. That's why people like it. When you have
Collagen.
collagens, you have collagens, keep your skin young, make you get younger.
Sophia, what are your
Yes.
top tips for people who are interested or want to go into a Chinese market? Not supermarket, but local community market. One of the things she was like, we have to feature, we have to film is Hey guys, it's Jenny again here on Journey with Jenny, and I'm joined by my lovely friend Sophia, and we are in the hutongs, which means
Small alleyways.
Small
It's
alleyways.
actually a community located in the small alleyways.
yes,
Yeah.
in the center of Beijing.
Yeah.
And we actually went shopping
Yeah.
at a food market
Yes.
in a local market.
Yeah, it's a local market,
Yeah.
food market. Yes.
Yeah. And it was a weekend, it was a Saturday morning, first thing in the morning, and we just want to show you and give you a tour. So actually what happened, I'll just be honest, our mic wasn't strong enough, I think, to withstand the busyness and the loudness of the place. So we had some great shots, so we definitely want to share that with you, but we thought, let's just do a commentary on what we saw and our experience.
Yes.
So let's start off. Here we go. We came in and we were wondering, obviously it's still the pandemic, so we wanted to see what it was going to be like pre-pandemic. But there was definitely some control measures in place. We had security guards outside looking and checking people's QR codes. To our right, we found the seafood section.
Seafood is, well, it was really like Beijing's inland, you know, there was no sea, there's no coast around. They do have some reservoirs or river. Usually in the market, they sell the fish or shrimp, these kind of products actually for the local market. So they're very selective. So they usually buy the things easy for them to sell to meet the needs of the local market. So if you go to this, that morning we went to the market is located in the area, so you can see the most of the people buy in the area. So that's how it works. But normally it's a fresh, yes.
Super fresh. So in terms of seafood, we saw this worm-looking product, which I don't usually see in a normal, if you like, supermarket. What is that? Could you tell us?
It's well, in Chinese it's called 蚕蛹, but I think in English it's called silkworm. And to be honest, I'm from Inner Mongolia, and in northeast of China, this kind of thing is very common. I usually eat them alive. You fry them. I mean, it's pretty common thing here. In Beijing, they sell them alive, so it's basically.
What does it taste like when it's?
Well, it's hard to
live.
explain how to taste it. It's like something, you know, something shell that you deep fried is kind of the taste. It's hard to it's really hard to tell. It has unique flavor. You have to try it to know the taste.
So as you enter the market, it is just a sea of vegetables and fruits.
This is the market is very unique. When you want to experience people's life, the culture part, the food is a big part, and this market is really like related to the people's daily life. So,
for sure. So if you're really interested in experiencing local life, that's definitely a place you have to check out.
Yes.
Cabbage.
They're in season now. Because in Chinese we have like saying 萝卜青白菜保平安. So the radish and the cabbage can keep you peace and health and sound, something like this.
Nice. We also saw some pumpkins.
Yeah, see these are pumpkins and sweet potatoes, and some taros. This kind of root stuff are in season. They're very starchy and very hearty food that you can do a lot of kind of like warm food in the winter time.
Yeah.
In this season, like the cabbage and the leek, you see the leeks. Usually, that's how people buy leeks in this season. They buy like bundles by bundles. They just store them. So leek people buy a lot. One's like for storage because in the past it's not easy to get in the winter time, and also it's gonna be very expensive, more expensive than now. So that's why people.
Come winter.
Yeah. This is like a Chinese winter melon. It's a giant. This one's been slices. Usually it could be like our arms long. It's the fat ones. Yeah. Usually people slice them and sell them like the pieces. And we do soup. We stir fry them. Yeah. It doesn't have that much. 70% actually is water.
So it's really good.
If people got puffy skins or it's usually you can have this, can get rid of the actual water in your body.
Helps you pee.
Yes, basically.
Helps you go to the toilet and
yes, literally for that.
good.
Yeah.
One of the things she was like, we have to feature, we have to film is the ginger.
I think most of the time it's pretty unique here in China. Our ginger generally can see the dry ones. It usually look like this. So very fresh, even though they're older. Get dried up, but the behind it, the ones in Jenny's hand, they are fresh. They're young ginger, they're baby gingers.
It just looks like they've peeled off the skin.
Yeah, but actually not. It's
Yeah.
not. It's just like young ginger. It's the texture like it's crunchy. It doesn't have that much flavor. It's just usually for pickling.
You guys like to pickle things, don't you? I feel like.
Yeah, we do a lot of pickles
pickles,
because pickle usually is the one where you preserve food, and
It's all about long life and preserving food.
Typically in southern China even more.
Over here?
I think it's called kohlrabi. They're in season. They're very seasonal. These kind of root vegetables in season look like radish, but it's actually kohlrabi. Apples, these are very famous ones. Nowadays with more like, I think this one probably more from Western China. There is documentary about this. It's called tangshin apple. It's like sugar heart like fruits. A lot of tropical fruits and vegetables like from South China, from even all over the world, will end into Beijing market. So the ones we see is like it's mangosteen. It's very juicy and fruity. It's very lovely. Yeah, I think for some of you guys, if you see from different tropical countries, you will see that's quite common.
Yeah.
But it's like only here. They're seasonal here for us. Only the winter time is kind of seasonal, and also like it's very expensive, precious, and
This food is expensive?
I think so, yeah, compare ones. The market we've been to actually with a good price because the morning market, so that was kind of like relatively more reasonable than other stores.
Another top tip.
Yeah.
Gotta find the best market in terms of prices, and this one was a good one, wasn't it?
Oh, this is a plum. It's super good. I think in Australia they have a lot. They have usually like Chinese imported lots of plums in from Australia, but nowadays like this is like one from Xinjiang. Oh, the orange was tasty.
Very tasty. Actually, the vendor was very good. She made us try it.
Yeah.
Which made us buy it. So we had a very good selling technique.
Yeah, she's a good seller.
Yeah, really, really good.
This is like the ones on the screen can see. It's a hawthorn. It's like they're in season as well. In China, it's called shanli hong. If you go to countryside nowadays, you can see it's like mountain insect red. And sometimes we do like on the street we have like a tang hulu. It's like a toffee fruits. So usually put some caramelized sugar on the top of the fruit.
We ended up in the cornbread section.
They are kind of like a staple food. Like if people are hungry, I wouldn't mind just get one to eat when I'm hungry and shopping. But normally these are cornbread, like literally like corn is a main like ingredient, but they mixed with some soybean flours inside to make this bread.
You can eat it with your main meal, basically, right?
Yeah.
From the cornbread, we ended up in the meat section.
Here we see a lot of chicken and rabbits.
A lot of chicken. And this one, the black looking
Yeah.
is chicken, right?
Yeah, so black
Yeah.
chicken. Black chicken is actually natural chicken. When they're alive, they're very beautiful. The feathers are pure white.
It was an interesting way to display the chickens. I definitely haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
But in China, they really make the most out of each part of the body.
Something like the chicken stomach, chicken heart, chicken liver, and chicken feet.
Nothing goes to waste. Intestines?
Yeah, intestines, livers, kidneys, all this stuff.
And also what was interesting to me was the lighting in the meat section. So there was the red light that you were explaining to me.
Yeah, we mentioned about that too. They usually like the red lights over there. Because like to be honest, if you put the meat over there, it won't be so appetizing.
Appetizing.
Yeah, appetizing.
Yeah,
it's like looking appealing. So they're usually using the light to give a nice color on the meat to make it more fresh. Yeah.
Yes. Then this caught my eye. Pig's feet, right?
The pig's feet. This is the section we mentioned about pig's feet, pig's tail, kidney there.
I mean, they had every single part of
Yes.
every single animal in there, which was really, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
Tell us, so you mentioned that you like to eat, is it pig's feet or was it the chicken's feet?
Both. The only thing, don't eat too much. Chicken feet, it's okay. It doesn't have much fat there. Just the skins, the joints. But this pork's feet, you better be careful. Don't eat too much.
Right.
Yeah, because there are lots of fat there. But I think one's good. I said a lot of collagens. That's why people like it. When you have collagens, you have collagens, keep your skin young, make you keep younger.
Went to a separate area.
Yeah. So this is like you can see check the size of the animals there. And yes, so these are the cows and the lamb here. Here in China, we separate them. So this is usually very common in the market. They put condiments, dry products, and the spices in together. And the one we put in our hand, the other one's like a slice of toast.
Yeah, it looked like toast.
It's a bread. It's actually pure gluten. So if you're gluten-free people, you have to be away from that. That's disaster. So that one's literally that you make the dough. You have to wash the dough in the water to get rid of the other things, and you wash out the gluten out, and then you steam it. That's the pure gluten, and you dry it. Here are the ones like we use in commonly, like chili powders and chili flakes. A lot of things actually not originally from China. I think it's imported. So the ones we checked is the Sichuan peppercorn. This is the spice, the unique spice that came from here directly, originally. So it's in.
You can literally smell it from a mile away.
Yeah.
From the restaurants that use this Sichuan peppercorn.
It's Sichuan peppercorn over there, and the ones in our hand is like black fungus.
So before I came to China, I didn't eat black fungus, but now it's like one of my favorite things to eat. Especially in Chinese restaurants, that's one of the things that I like. The stir fry. Then we moved to the tofu.
Oh yeah. This one you cannot miss because this is how the tofu made here in China. So this is like really common here. People prefer to have a fresh tofu like in a daily base, and we don't keep tofu for more than 2 days. It's made every day, and people usually have the soya products probably like every other day because it's the mainly protein you can take, and also like it's also very cheap. So this block one's like 3.5. It's like a few cents dollars.
And we also found some soya milk.
Yeah, so they sell by bags. This one actually the best, when they're in bag, that means they are original flavor. If they put in the cups on the cars that sell on the street in the morning, they usually put in cups. You can have it. They should have a sugar. This one has the natural sweet from the soya bean. Pancakes, bread. It's like a mainly stable food because here we're in northern China, Beijing in northern China, yeah. So we like to have a lot of wheat flour-based meals.
In the Philippines, we have siopao, so it's
the puffing
buns. Yeah.
It's like buns without stuffing.
But without. Without.
Jian Bing, this is like also northern Chinese style as well because it's flour based. Yeah, so it's usually made from corn, sometimes from soya flour, and could be like you can do buckwheat flour, rice flour mixed with some normal flour, and you make this kind of like a dough. See, this is the egg.
Oh, that's the egg, yeah.
And now we have an egg, and see, that's how you do it. This is very big, so it's very thin. It's just slightly different. Yeah.
It's a pancake.
Yeah.
Basically.
And then you put a different like sauce, maybe hoisin sauce, a fermented tofu sauce, and some like no garlic, spring onion, coriander. And if you like sausage, you can do. If you like veggies, you can put it in. Literally, just whatever you like, you can put it in. It's a Chinese French crepe.
Yeah, French crepe. Sophia, what are your top tips for people who are interested or want to go into a Chinese market? Not supermarket, but local community market.
Things getting bigger here. I don't know. For us, it was okay. Like we didn't see the huge ones, but there's another fortunate things happening here. People want has a faster growth because like to meet the demands of the market, so they put a lot of chemistry stuff, which is not really good. So normally when I do it, I will buy the regular size ingredients.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Yeah, for the carrot, normally like your palm size, like the length, you wouldn't get like double-sized carrots. So I would just buy smaller, normal size, because sometimes our onion can be this big, but normally you can buy the small onions like this. So I think that's usually if I go, I will do that. And sometimes depends. I don't buy very clean vegetables. If you want to like for a longer life for the veggies, maybe a little bit mud and dirt usually can prevent from the rotten. Because a lot of products like they're beautiful, they have been washed. Typically in the supermarket, this won't last very long.
So don't be afraid of the dirty looking ones.
No,
it's
it's
ones
actually
with more mud.
Yeah.
So a few more tips for you if you do decide to check out the local markets here in China at any time. Is for sure try maybe bring some cash. Sometimes there's no service on your phone, so you can't use WeChat.
Oh, that's right. That was extreme.
That happened to me a few times, and I still need to pay Sophia.
It's okay.
People. But for sure, try and bring cash. Something you don't really do here in China, but for places like these markets, local markets, you might want to do that. And also, yes, try and hit the market early, especially on a weekend. If it's a weekday, it might be a different story, but on a weekend, it's the same, right? Weekend for sure, first thing in the morning, you get the best produce as we've mentioned, probably the best prices, or at least the best selection for sure. So you can be more selective with what you buy. Yeah, as foreigners living in China, okay, something that I've learned is it's a great place to practice your Chinese skills.
Yeah, you need to have some little bit, here.
Thank God, Jesus, that Sophia was with me. Otherwise, it would have been a no-go for me because, absolutely. Obviously, it's good because they weren't able to speak that much English, but for those who are wanting to practice their speaking skills, their listening skills, it's definitely a place that you have to go. Yeah, it's a great place to just experience local life and see what, especially the food culture. There's no place like it, and what it's like to live here for sure. So I think that's definitely some top tips and things that you should know before going to a market. So that's it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. And I hope, Sophia, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jenny.
Amazing. And also, tell us a little bit about where you work.
Oh, I'm working in this kind of, you can see this our venue, the place called The Hutong, because we are located in the Hutong areas. So we are a culture exchange center. We founded in 2007. So primarily we like to share culture, share knowledge through activities, typically about food, like anything related to food, and not only just limited to Chinese food, we also promote other different cultures like South African, Mexican, Brazilian, and Italian. These all the things we learn from here. So it's like culture center, I would say. Yeah. And typically in this season, a lot of people cannot go home.
Right.
And they probably miss home, so we try to find these people like to present their home dishes, so bring people together. It's like community.
Community events.
Yes.
Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you, Jenny.
You
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Yes, good one.